Well, hello everyone. Welcome. My name's Classics Buggo, and today I'll be doing my first video of a little series I'm gonna do, just mostly for my knowledge. But if you come across this and you enjoy it, welcome to my channel. Now this is very new to me, this whole YouTube thing, so I don't know much about it. So I'm just going to go straight into it, mostly because I can't make a script for crap, and I'm too busy to make a script. So this will be some side thing I'm going to do for just so I can keep track of a couple things, and I'll I'll start off with a little intro. I'll do a bit of editing just because to make it easier on you guys whenever I ramble on. But most of this will be uncut, mostly like a podcast. So I hope you enjoy. Now, so I am a currently a 17-year-old high school student who's enrolled into a dual enrollment. If you don't know what that is, you can look it up. But I basically do high school and college at the same time. I'm a classics major, hoping to be a classics major, in a philosophy minor or dual major in both because I very very much enjoy class history and classic history. And the reason I'm doing this is because currently I'm on a little knowledge seeking trip. I'm reading a bunch of classic works by going from Homer to ranging from Aristophanes to Sophocles to Euripides, stuff like that. Euripides, sorry, still new to this whole thing, but I started off with Homer's Iliad, and I'll basically do small videos of maybe 20 minutes going over the books, maybe the books in the forms of four, more if some books are smaller. But currently, I'm going to go through books 1 through 4. Um, this is just so I can remember because reading these classic works isn't an easy thing to do. And hopefully, I can help myself understand this whenever I have to go back and do some senior thesis in my senior year of university or something around those lines, and maybe it can help you, even though there's a bunch of summaries way better than this. But um, um, I will go back and do this again, but throughout my years of university to see if anything changes, if my understanding of the books change or if anything changes. Because right now, I have no clue what I'm doing. I have no knowledge of anything that happened during the Trojan War or stuff like that. So it should be a little learning thing. And I do apologize if I like puff of air comes out of nowhere because I am using Apple headphones. I don't have any better, or if the audio goes down in quality or whatever. I'm trying to be as quiet as possible since I have to stay inside a house with my parents, so that's always fun. So let's start off with my ramblings. I'll explain a bit of Homer's Iliad. Of what I know of it, I'm not an expert on this type of literature. I just started reading it. So Homer's Iliad, the precursor to Homer's Odyssey, the more well-known book of a work from Homer, the more well-known epic poem from Homer. The Iliad consists of 24 books, and it's in the ninth year of the Trojan War. It's mostly about Achilles and the Greeks versus the Trojans at Troy, and basically throughout a couple weeks of what happens between when the Greeks get to Troy to when Troy gets sacked at the very end. So, well, it doesn't really specify that at the very end, but as much as I know, as much as I've read from the introduction and the preface of this book, do know that, of course, Troy, Ilion at the time, does get sacked at the end. Now, it's named the Iliad mostly because in ancient Greece, Troy was actually named Ilion, and then us English people, when we translated it, decided to turn into Troy or something like that. I'm no expert. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But I do know that in the book, um, Troy, it does say Troy a couple times, but sometimes it refers to Ilion, and every time I've looked it up, Ilion basically means Troy. So we have that. Now, as I said earlier on, this is an epic poem. It was recited by playwrights, and not playwrights, but storytellers and whatnot on town squares and stuff. So I don't. No one really knows who wrote it down, who got us the actual thing. But we do know that Homer did invent it somewhere in the 700 BCs, and someone decided to memorize the whole thing somewhat and write it all down, and that's where we get it from now. Now, like I said, I'll be doing books 1 through 4, or maybe 5, 6. I am in book 6 right now, so I'm nowhere near halfway through. I'm a quarter of the way done, which isn't bad. I started this last week, so it's not a bad feat, but it is a really hard read. But I do recommend it highly if you enjoy history, Greek history, or anything that has to do with poetry, because it is a great work, and I really am enjoying reading it. Although sometimes it is really hard to understand what is happening. Now, the book is about the Achaeans, the Dans, the Argives, whatever the heck. Homer changes their names every couple lines for some odd reason, which is really confusing at first, but once you understand it, against the Trojans, the aliens, whatever you want to call them. Now, this book isn't mostly about it. It is about the Trojan War, and afterwards comes the death of Achilles, and then the Trojan horse, and then later after the Trojan horse, the sacking of Troy, which is all. This is what kind of leads up all to that. But we really don't know much about the Trojan War because most of their works haven't been conserved as good as the Iliad and the Odyssey has. So this is as close as the Trojan War. Any historical kind of aspect, we really it's not really historical since it is an epic poem, but we have found evidence of some kind of Trojan battle, some kind of Trojan War, in the 1300 BCE, 1250 BCE, somewhere around that time era. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just trying to summarize this as much as I can. So most of what I'll be summarizing comes from the top of my head. So sorry if I get anything wrong. It's not my fault. I did read over some of book 1, 2, 3, and 4 again to make sure I got most of the summary right. So please bear with me here as I get better and better with this whole YouTube stuff. But if you can give me any suggestions, that'd be great. So now, to start off, Iliad begins with the a priest of Apollo named Chryses. He comes to the Achaean camp, the Greek camp. I'll be calling them Achaeans. I won't change their names. They'll be referred to as Achaeans, and asks back for his daughter Chryses, who has been captured by the Achaeans when they sacked his town. Agamemnon, the king of Mycenae, at the time, sorry about the pronunciation, I'm still kind of iffy on it, sends him away, saying, nah, you ain't getting your girlfriend, your daughter back, sorry. And right when he gets, when the priest is walking away, he prays to his god, Apollo, to rain arrows of plague upon the Achaeans to kill them all, or to pretty much whittle their numbers down because of what they've done to him. Now, Apollo isn't too pleased that his priest is sad, so he rains arrows down on the Achaeans and pretty much starts killing a bunch of them, which isn't good for the Achaeans. Now, Achilles comes in now, asking his seer, I think, his helper, not his mentor, but someone, I forgot his name, why Apollo's angry, why he's raining plague down from the sky. Pretty much the seer tells Achilles that Agamemnon pretty much freaking pushed this priest away, who this priest doesn't take lightly to his daughter being kidnapped, which is obviously a very evil thing to do, and prayed to his god Apollo to pretty much attack the Achaeans. Now, Agamemnon, yeah. He basically he's like, all right, fine, I'll give up Chryseis, I think her name is, back to the priest, but I demand another prize, one that will replace the one that I lost. So obviously, being the king he is, he goes to Achilles. Now Achilles says, "Hey, you'll get your prize when Troy is sacked. We're gonna sack it anyway sometime soon, so you can wait a bit." But Agamemnon decides to be like, "No, actually, I think I'm going to take either your woman, your prize, or one of the other prizes." Now, Achilles isn't too fond of this idea, so he decides to say, hey, no, don't do it. Agamemnon, being the king he is, again, says it again. This makes Achilles mad, and he takes out his sword. Now, right at this moment, Athena sees this coming down from the heavens. She places herself beside Achilles and tells him no. Instead, um, instead, just give it to him, but don't help him out. Don't fight in the battles that they will get into later on. And Achilles is like, all right, sure, fine, I'll do it. I'll stay out of it, and you'll see how important I am and what you've lost. Now, Achilles, being distraught over this, he sits down, being a big baby, and just because his prize got taken away, it's kind of for a big dude like him, a big strong dude like him, it's kind of a pathetic way to just back out. But prizes weren't meant to be shared, and in that day and age, I guess. So I kind of see where he comes from. So Achilles prepares Briseis, I think her name is, and whenever Agamemnon's messengers come in and take her away, him being so distraught, he meets with his mother, Thetis, a sea nymph, and he tells her basically the whole story of what happened, how his prize got taken away, how sad he is, and now that he wants Thetis to beg son of Kronos, Zeus, to make the Trojans win for a while, have the Achaeans lose, have them feel this loss, so they know that they shouldn't mess with Achilles, and if he decides not to battle for them, they will lose. Now, by the end of this, Chryseis is taken home to the priest. Apollo is happy. He stops raining hell upon all the Achaeans, and he leaves, basically just going back to Mount Olympus. uh, Thetis leaves, meets with Zeus, since Zeus owes her a favor. Um, I think the favor had to do when Hephaestus was like thrown off Mount Olympus. Thetis was the one that came and helped him out, basically saving him and putting him on some island, so he survived until Zeus came and picked him back up. Now, I don't know a lot of mythology, so sorry if I'm a bit wrong there, but I think that's something that happened, and that's why Zeus owes her a favor. So, owing her that favor, he does it reluctantly and agrees to basically cause the two armies to clash, and I think it's book 3 that they end up clashing until even into book 6 they keep fighting. So that's basically the whole cause of this. Now, Hera doesn't favor this, mostly because of this whole Troy thing. Hera and Athena don't like Troy because of this whole golden apple contest that happened with Paris, one of Troy's main generals. It was a competition, and he ended up giving the golden apple to Aphrodite because Aphrodite promised him a nice woman, which ended up being Helen, the wife of Melanus, one of the main generals or captains or chiefs in the Greek army. So that's what basically caused this whole Trojan War, was Aphrodite and Paris. So you can blame them for this. Now Hera, wife of Zeus, doesn't approve of this because she is on the Greeks or Achaeans side, but he basically shuts her down and says, "No, I gotta commit to this promise, and it will happen." And basically, this is where book 1 ends. And I think since I'm coming up to 17 minutes here, this is where I'm going to leave off. I will continue each book up to when it ends. And I will keep doing this little mini series, just mostly for me. But if anyone else enjoys it, I hope you do enjoy it. Um, it hopefully comes in as an educational thing from a 17-year-old. I might not know a lot, but I hope this will keep me on the track of remembering most things that happen in the books of the Iliad, because this is not an easy read. I do recommend it though. So I hope you enjoy. Future me, I hope this helped you out in your studies and classics. Uh, and anyone else watching, stay tuned for more summaries of the books if you would like. And yeah, stay safe out there. Keep on meeting those gods and goddesses that you are in the world, and I don't know, stay beautiful, I guess. All right, peace.